Here we have the outside of the Auto Trail Scout. As we move along, we can firstly lift up the side hatch, and you'll see we have both leisure batteries just sitting here, and then beside this we then have the mains hookup and then two main 12-volt fuses. Also underneath here we have the grey water drain. This particular motorhome does come with an extension hose as well, which can be attached, and to open and close it's just on the lever just here. Next we have the Thetford toilet cassette. To remove the cassette, lift up and pull towards you. Before use, remove the cap and add your toilet chemical and a small amount of water. These cassettes also empty from here as well. Just remember that when you pour away, to hold the button in just here to release the vacuum inside. It is also advisable to keep this seal lubricated. Thetford do their own seal lubricant, but any silicone based lubricant is fine. This is also a nice quick and easy way of giving the cassette a clean. If additional cleaning is needed, or you need to gain access to the float mechanism, if there's some debris wrapped around it and it's giving you a false reading, you'll see at the moment we're in the closed position just here. We can twist this whole section around to here and remove. All of these cassettes now are on wheels with an extendable handle. On this model of motorhome, we do also have the capacity to add a Thetford filter. So when we press the flush button inside, a fan will begin to spin, and then once we've removed this sticker just here, it will then ventilate the cassette. These particular cassettes themselves last approximately 4 weeks. Beside the cassette we then have fresh water into the motorhome. We can either just use a hose pipe to fill up the tank, or we can use the submersible pump. So we drop this into a water container and then plug this plug into the 2-pin socket just here, and then we just need to make sure we've got the 12-volt on inside, and then we can suck water from the container into the tank. You will see that this is also lockable. Beside this we then have the external shower. So it all comes wrapped up in this bag here. All we do is we just push on the blue collar, push it towards the van, and the dust cap will come out. And then the shower itself has exactly the same hose lock, and you just plug it in, and then as long as you've got the water pump turned on, it's just a hand shower. Just press for water to come out. Beneath it we then have the fresh water drain tap just here. And then as we come to the rear we then have the garage space. As we come round to the rear, we have the reverse camera and the location of the spare wheel. So it's just a matter of keying, removing the faceplate, unscrewing the blue cap, and then removing the shroud to gain access to the spare wheel. And as we come round to the other side, we then have access again to the garage space. Here we have the flue for the Aldi boiler. We do not need to do anything with these particular ones, just make sure that nothing is obstructing it. And then we have the external barbecue point. So currently the adapter itself is still attached with a cable tie. So before use, remove and then pop the hose of your barbecue on this rib section here and secure it with a Jubilee clip. This end here then plugs in where my finger is, and you will then be able to turn the gas on. To remove, just push on the collar, push it up, and it will then release. We then have both vents for the fridge freezer. This motorhome is supplied with winter covers, so these need to be used if you're using the van in cold climate. Just come to the vent itself and slide the black clips, and we can then remove. Then if we take a winter cover, we can then pop this in and then pop the vent back on and then lock it back into place, and then do exactly the same on the top vent, and then the fridge will only vent from the 2 points here and here, thus holding some heat in and running efficiently in cold weather. If you leave them on in the warmer months, the fridge will just overheat and not work. We then have the electric step. This will go in and out on the key fob when you lock and unlock the motorhome. It will also automatically retract when you start the engine, and it can also be popped in and out on the button just here. Next we have the gas locker. To open the gas locker, you do need to enter the motorhome just here, and you'll see the lever that needs to be pulled just here. We have room in this gas locker for 2 gas bottles. This particular motorhome runs the Truma Drive Safe system. So we have the crash regulator just here, and then you're supplied with a crash safe propane hose. So once you've screwed your hose into your propane bottle, tightened it with a gas spanner, you then turn your gas on the top, and then you will need to hold this button in for about 3 or 4 seconds to allow gas into the van. We can then leave the gas turned on even when we travel if we want to. If you don't and you turn the bottle off, when you turn it back on again, you will need to repeat the process. What will happen in the event of either this pipe getting severed, this valve here will recognise the sudden drop in gas pressure and cut the gas off. We also have a crash sensor in the regulator itself, and if this is triggered, this little yellow button here will pop out to cut the gas off at this point as well. From time to time, these can be triggered if you go over a bump violently. So if you're not getting any gas into the van, just come and check to see whether or not this has popped out. If it has, you will need this tool here, and you'll see this little bit here that needs to be pushed and twisted to lock it back into place. We then have the roll-out canopy just up here. Warning winding handle locates into this point here, and then wind to pop it out. And then we have diesel fill just here. Cap unlocks on the ignition key, and then beneath it we have AdBlue top up. It will alert you on the dashboard when your AdBlue needs filling back up again. We have tyre pressures on the door pillar just here, and then underneath the passenger seat is the location of the jack and wheel brace kit. Vehicle battery just sits underneath the floor of the cab, and bonnet release is just here.